In Your Health on this Tuesday, we're focusing on doping in sports. Joining me now is Dr. Mitchell Goldman from UCSD to talk about the different ways athletes are cheating and, of course, the dangers of doping. Dr. G, good to see you as always. Doping has been around for a long time, and I think the sort of high-profile athletes have sort of brought it to the forefront. What have you seen?
They really have. You know, doping was first, actually, there was a great article in the New England Journal of Medicine, and doping occurred in the first Olympics when athletes were using cocaine and heroin to try to enhance their performance. And now what we're seeing is that more and more athletes are trying to increase their muscles by using testosterone or different types of anabolic steroids, and other athletes are trying to get more endurance and increase their oxygenation by having more blood proteins and having more red blood cells through something called the EPO.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, they have new tests, and then the scientist or whomever is creating them gets a little more creative, I guess, in the ways you can dope. But talk about how sort of these athletes have impacted the high schoolers, the teenagers who are just sort of starting to mature, and they want to be good at their sport, and they want to kind of buff up, if you will.
Well, I tell you, we all do. Even 57-year-old guys want to look better, and we want to try to do everything we can. Taking vitamins, eating right, sleeping right, listening to your trainer, that's the way to do it. But then we look and we see these incredible athletes that have admitted that they dope. People like Floyd Landis, the cyclist. It sort of ruins everything. And it's not all about trying to get the quick fix. You're not going to become a world-class athlete by getting more blood or taking some kind of pill. You're going to do it the right way. The biggest problem I see with our young kids in doping, especially the ones that use steroids, they get a lot of acne, they get increased hair. You can actually get liver damage. The athletes, young and old, that try to increase their endurance by taking amphetamines, they can get even more heat stroke and have problems. There have been deaths from athletes taking amphetamines and doing endurance types of cycling or running. So it's not just something that's going to make you look really strong. It's something that can actually kill you and make it give you harm in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I remember even in high school, kids were roiding is the term that they would use. What about creatine? I remember that was really big. I mean, is that considered like a doping drug, or what are kids using these days?
Well, creatine, anything you can get from a Whole Foods or from a vitamin store, that's not doping. Doping is when you go to a physician and you get things online or from your friends where you're injecting steroids and other compounds. So things like creatine, they will help you naturally build muscle mass. You can actually do it by eating properly as well. But some athletes like to do some powders. You can buy things on the internet that are different high protein powders that can actually help you, like arginine is another very common one. Safe to use. So there are safe products to give you the bulk with exercising. That's the whole thing. You can't like just drink all this stuff, sit in front of the TV and expect to be as handsome as Walter. Right. You have to actually go out and work. And then if you work at it and take some supplements, that'll be okay. Sure. Just not the illegal kinds.
Not the illegal one. Okay, let's go to, I know there's a lot of different ways to test for doping. Kind of break down some of the different ways that doctors and physicians are doing that.
Well, we test by bodily fluids, and so the key test is blood testing, and a lot of our Olympic athletes have to give blood at all times during the year as well as during competition, especially if they win. But you can also do urine tests, you can do saliva tests. There's lots of ways you can test. But what you pointed out in the beginning, Jen, is that, you know, we're now becoming better able to test, and that's why Lance Armstrong's in all this problem, because his blood was actually kept for 10 years, and now we're finally figuring out tests to see if he or any of the other athletes were actually doping.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on it. All right, Dr. G, thanks as always. Okay. Always coming in with good points. Walter, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Jen.